Moscow, Idaho, a seemingly idyllic college town where the promise of youth and bright futures hung in the crisp autumn air. But beneath the surface of normalcy, a chilling darkness was beginning to stir. But by sunrise, the lives of 4 students had been brutally cut short. What followed was one of the most gripping investigations of modern American true crime. Four University of Idaho students, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Knodel, and Ethan Chapin, were brutally stabbed to death in their off-campus home. The victims were vibrant young adults, full of promise. Kaylee Goncalves, 21, a senior, was set to graduate and move to Texas. Madison Mogen, 21, her best friend, was a marketing major known for her warmth. Xana Knodel, 20, a junior, was an aspiring entrepreneur. Ethan Chapin, 20, a freshman, was Xana's boyfriend and a beloved fraternity member. They lived or gathered at 1122 King Road, a 3-story rental house near campus, a place meant for laughter and late-night study sessions. On November 12, 2022, the group enjoyed a typical college night. Court documents state the 4 victims were believed to arrive at the house on King Road address at approximately 1:45 a.m. Kaylee and Madison were at the Corner Club bar, while Xana and Ethan attended a Sigma Chi fraternity party. By 1:56 a.m., all were home. But sometime after 4 a.m., a killer entered. According to court filings, the 4 victims were found stabbed to death in 2 bedrooms on the 2nd and 3rd floors. There were no signs of forced entry, and the murder weapon, a large fixed blade knife, was not found. A surviving roommate, Dylan Mortensen, later told investigators she saw a figure walking past her in black clothing and a ski mask exiting the house. She described the intruder as having recounting bushy eyebrows, a detail that would become pivotal. At 11:58 a.m. on November 13, a 911 call reported an unresponsive body after a friend arrived at the house. One caller, likely a roommate, said,
"Well, the roommate was passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up."
Police arrived to find a horrific scene. Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan had been stabbed multiple times, likely while asleep, with some showing defensive wounds. The community was stunned. Moscow Police Chief James Fry later described it as a very complex case. Initially, police stated there was no ongoing threat, but 3 days later, Fry admitted, "We cannot say that there is no threat to the community." Fear gripped Moscow, with students leaving early for Thanksgiving break and professors canceling classes. A vigil on November 30th, 2022, drew hundreds to honor the victims. The Goncalves family, outspoken about the case, expressed frustration with the investigation's pace. Christy and Steve Goncalves said in November 2023, "The details of the case show the death penalty is merited. You've got 4 victims all in one house. That's more than enough." investigation was massive, with over 25 investigators and thousands of FBI tips. A breakthrough came from a tan leather knife sheath found on Madison Mogen's bed, marked with K-bar and a US Marine Corps logo. Court documents note, the Idaho State Lab later located a single source of male DNA, suspect profile, left on the button snap of the knife sheath. Surveillance footage also captured a white Hyundai Elantra passing the house multiple times between 3:29 a.m. and 4:04 a.m., speeding away at 4:20 a.m. Police searched records for 22,000 Elantras and identified one registered to Brian Koberger, a 28-year-old PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, just 10 miles away. DNA from trash at Koberger's family home in Pennsylvania was a statistical match to the sheath's DNA. Cell phone data placed him near the crime scene, and his Amazon activity showed he purchased a K-bar knife 8 months prior. On December 30th, 2022, Koberger was arrested in Pennsylvania, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. Brian Koberger, a criminology student, was an unlikely suspect. Court documents reveal he was under pressure as a teaching assistant, with students complaining he was overly demanding. His phone contained photos of female students and searches for sociopathic traits in college student. A selfie taken at 10:31 a.m. on November 13, hours after the murders, showed him smiling with a thumbs up, which prosecutors argue could help jurors assess his bushy eyebrows. Koberger pleaded not guilty, and his trial, moved to Boise due to publicity, is set for August 18, 2025, under Judge Stephen Hippler. Prosecutors seek the death penalty, but the defense has challenged DNA evidence and suggested alternate perpetrators. A court filing notes many alternate perpetrators can be connected to the crime, though the judge denied introducing specific suspects without evidence linking them to the scene. The defense also argued Koberger's autism spectrum disorder should bar the death penalty, but Judge Hippler denied this request. Surviving roommates Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk are expected to testify, with texts showing their panic. "I'm freaking out right now," and "No, it's like a ski mask almost." The King Roadhouse was demolished in December 2023, but the pain remains. As the trial approaches, questions linger. Why were these students targeted? Was Koberger driven by rage, as some suggest, or is there another explanation? The Gonsalves family said, "We moved a little closer to justice today for Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan." Will the trial bring closure or uncover more mysteries? Subscribe for updates on this haunting case and share your thoughts below.